Rồi, ok. Trong thời gian chờ đợi chúng ta sẽ review lại ba cái này nhé. Rồi, so we have to discuss about the patent law. Discuss about the trademark law and industrial design. Okay. So, what's the meaning of the patent? Give me a definition. Okay, one.
Is a sign used to distinguish good or some from.
That's the trademark.
Yes.
Patent. Patent is An Khương.
A patent is a technical solution in the form of a product or a process to a specific problem.
So, exactly. So, which article is it?
Article 1244.
12. Okay. So, what is the condition? Okay. So, what is the condition to protect the patent?
The conditions there are three conditions.
Okay. Can you list in the board three conditions? You can write on the TV screen. Three conditions. So the first thing we need to keep in mind, that's the definition of patent, okay? So it must be new, inventive, and industrial application. So now my second question is, in order to consider a patent, it new. That means the patent information concerning the patent can be disclosed to the third party. Okay? And as soon as you disclose to the public, patent cannot consider to be news. So my question is, in which scenario the patent have disclosed to the public, but that's still considered news? Can anyone answer this question? Bên cạnh An Khương là gì? Anh Thư. Can you have my question? New, that means the public, they didn't know about this. This appeared the first time in the market. Okay? But there are some exceptions. There are some exceptions. You know that? Look at Article 60.
In Article 60, a burden shall not be deemed to be loss of its novelty if it is publicly disclosed by a person entitled to the registration as provided in Article 86 of the ID law.
Okay.
Or by the person who obtains the information available directly or indirectly from such person, provided that the patent application have filled in with that within the 12 months from the day of disclosure.
Okay, exactly. So there exist two cases. The information already disclosed to the public, but still considered as news. Okay. So the first scenario is information were disclosed passively, okay, by the third party. And the second is about the government that disclose information. Okay? Okay, now we talk about the second criteria is inventive. So how to measure the inventiveness of the patent? Cảm anh Thư là gì? Hân hả? Rồi, xin mời Hân. How to evaluate the inventiveness of a patent? Look at the textbook if you don't know. Can you read for me which article is it? Which article? Okay, read to me. Anyway, 61. Can you use the mic? You use microphone.
Article 61 about inventive natures of invention. An invention shall be deemed to be of an inventive nature if based on the technical solution already publicly disclosed by use or by means of written description or any other form either inside or outside Vietnam prior to the filing date of or the priority date as applicable of the application for registration of the invention, and the invention constitutes inventive progress and cannot be easily created by a person with average knowledge in the art.
Okay, so that's the key word. Inventive, that means that invention cannot create it easily by the average person. Okay? So, for example, I consider the light is inventive because if I give you, you cannot create it easily. Okay? So, that means inventive. However, for example, for the curtain behind you, near the window, this cannot be considered like inventive because we can create it. We can create it. No problem. We can do it anyway. Okay, the third criteria is about industrial application. Industrial application. So please read for me Article 60. Bên dưới An Khương là tên là gì nhỉ? Em tên là gì? Nguyên hả? Sao nói to nha? Liên đúng không? Okay. So read for me Article 62. How to consider the industrial application.
manufacture, mass produce, or apply the process that is contained of the invention in the testable results.
Lên lên đây ngồi đó, lấy micro đọc, không nghe gì đâu. Huy. Huy đi đâu rồi ta? Okay, let's go on.
An invention is considered capable of industrial application if it is possible to manufacture, mass produce, or repeatedly apply the process that is the content of the invention and obtain stable results.
Okay. So industrial application, that means we can produce massively, okay, in an industrial chain. So the thing is, they give you a patent, they don't want you to kill it in secret. They want to disclose it. They want everybody know about this. Okay? They want other people buy it. So that's mean industrial application. Okay? So the condition for protect a patent is must be new, inventive, and industrial application. Okay. Second thing you need to keep in mind that the condition to protect a patent, you need to register on Article 6, okay? And when, as soon as you register, you disclose to the public, and the public know about the patent. And after 20 years, the patent will be disclosed to the public, okay? So that is the bargain between the patent holder and the government. On the one hand, the owner disclose the patent to the government, and after 20 years, that will be expired. And during 20 years, you have the right to exploit the patent, to take some remuneration for the patent, okay? So the certification of a monopoly is not free. That's the bargain. The government give you the papers, and you have the monopoly power for 20 years. And after this paper will fall to the public. Okay? So the patent not exist forever. Alright? So that's always the balance of interest. That's the same of the human life. This universe create a human and then give you around 60 to 100 years to live. And after you disappear. You see? So that will exist in certain time of time. Will not last forever. And that's the same case for the patent. So now some people wonder why they take the years of 20 years. But why not 15 years or more? Blue TV. You know? Why 20 years? Why not already? But where's the number? Vì lên này ngồi lên đi. Trái này. Liên này. Lấy micro nói nha. Think about the numbers. Think about the number. The copyright, you calculate by the life of the authors plus 50 years, okay? The model right will last forever. The patent, 20 years. Industrial design, 15 years. The trademark, 10 years, and we can renew many times, okay? Trade secrets. Infinitive. Okay, good.
I think the specific numbers comes from the conventions that we all have ratified.
Yeah, of course, but before the convention has ratified, before the international established. That means before the years of 1880, 1883, just a few hundred years ago. Where they get the number 20? For example, if you calculate the best moment of a girl, which years? The best moment of a girl is around 16 to 22. And after, you get family. The best moment of a man is around 30 to 40. So we always have the summit of everything. And for the pattern also, we have the life circle, the life circle. And within that life circle, what happening is they will increase to the top, and then they will decrease. They call the life circle of a company. Diagram, okay? And 4. Okay. 10 of 10. That's the diagram of a company for development. The company to start to grow steadily, okay, and then reach to top and then fall. It's like human life, human life, okay. We grow up until 20. Okay, your best moment is 20, and then you grew up until 24, and then you decline, and that's the same case for the men. So we in the top at 30 until 40 and up to 4. That's the same cycle of a company, okay? That's the law of development. That's the philosophy. Increase, okay? Top and then decline. And we calculate us around 20 years. So during around 20 years, they have the time to take back the money from research and development, because they research, they develop the product. So they need some time to take the money back. Okay? Pattern. For the industrial design, it's shorter. That's only 5 years, and then you renew twice. That means 15 years. Okay. And for the trademarks, it's even shorter. It's like 10 years, and then you renew again. Trade secret, because you're not disclosed to the people, so you will last forever. Okay. And integrated circuit is called IC. So we will count on the days of the creation, or the day of when they first launch to the market. Okay. And then for the plant varieties, they will protect for 20 years and 25 years. They have 2 ways to calculate. And after that period, they will expire. Okay. Okay. So that's the period for protection. Period protection. And now I will talk about the very famous thing of the TRIPS, and that's under Article 31 of TRIPS and Article 145 of the Vietnamese law. 145. 145. Rồi, mời bạn lớp trưởng đọc cho thầy cái điều 145 nào. 145. We talk about how the balance between the private interest and the public interest in case of pandemics. So in case of, COVID just happened, we need a vaccine. So we use a mechanism to negotiate with the pharmaceutical company to transfer the patent. Okay? And in order to create access to the medication, we have many ways. Whether we import parallel from India, whether we invent ourselves, or whether we negotiate with a third party in order to have an access to medication. And that's under the Article 145. And if you can research further, that's the Declaration of Doha 2001. Access to medication to protect the public health through the patent mechanism. So we already organized many talk shows about this, and we discussed about this, a very interesting subject, and that's also my bachelor thesis. My bachelor thesis, I write about this compulsory law under the TRIP agreement. So, 145.
Article 145 grounds for compulsory.
You microphone.
Article 145 grounds for compulsory licensing of inventions. 1. In the following cases, the right to use an invention may be licensed to another organization or individual pursuant to a decision of the competent state body defined in Clause 1 of Article 147 of this law without permission from the holder of the exclusive right to use such invention. A. Where the use of such invention is for public and non-commercial purposes, or in service of national defense and security, disease prevention and treatment, and nutrition of people, or other urgent needs of society. B. Where the holder of the exclusive right to use such invention fails to fulfill the obligations to use such invention stipulated in Clause 1 of Article 136 and Clause 5 of Article 142 of this law upon the expiration of 4 years as from the date of filing the application for registration of the invention, or the expiration of 3 years as from the date of granting the invention patent. C. Where a person who wishes to use the invention fails to reach an agreement with the holder of the exclusive right to use such invention, or on entry.
So can you list out 4 conditions to apply this article? Can you write on the board 4 conditions? That's very famous of a PhD thesis in the library, if you can find it. Cái này là một cô làm cái luận văn về cái vấn đề này. Có cái 6 năm ra để nghiên cứu cái article này đó. Các em lên thư viện em tìm lại thôi nhé. Compulsory license. In Vietnamese we call bắt buộc chuyển giao quyền sử dụng đối với sáng chế. Bắt buộc chuyển giao quyền sử dụng đối với sáng chế. Mấy năm trước thì thầy có thể cho cái câu hỏi thi là câu này ha. Tức là analyze the balance of interest from the public and the private interest So in order to do this, answer this question, you need to understand the nature of intellectual property is monopoly. Okay? Monopoly. One hand, protect the private, the owner. And on the other hand, they need to protect the social interest, that's called the public interest. So they use Article 25, 26, Article 145, also some mechanism they call exhaustion of right. There are plenty of articles about this you can find on the internet. Exhaustion of right. That means as soon as your products launch into the first market, the owner can no longer control the product. They will be expired and can be used by another party. So that we call the balance interest. Okay. Okay, not in the board. Article 25, 145, and exhaustion of right. So those mechanisms they use to balance the interest. So if I ask you a question like this for your final exam, at first you need to explain what's in the monopoly of the IPR. And second, you explain how the Vietnamese they transfer the Berne Convention and the Trips Convention, Paris Convention into national law by those mechanisms. They use Article 25, 26, 145, and exhaustion of right. So in order to apply the Article 145, we need to respond to some certain condition, which we call compulsory license. So compulsory license, that means in the case of national urgency, we have the right to push the pharmaceutical company to trend. So now the government, they can use that pattern to shape the population. So you understand that? That's the idea, okay? For example, in a COVID situation happen, thousands and millions of people, they need the vaccination. And a local company like CUONG in Vietnam, they cannot have capacity to produce the medication, okay? So from this time they compose, that means they force the company to transfer the formula of the vaccine, okay? But they need to respond to 4 conditions. The first one, they non-commercial purpose. So that's the 4 conditions. So the first one, we need to prove that's the national urgency. A disaster, a disease, anything like this. The second, you use that pattern for non-commercial purpose. Non-commercial purpose, that means fall within the humanitarian purpose. The third condition, you need to negotiate with your bad interest. You negotiate with them, but you failed to negotiate. Failure. Third one, failed to negotiate. And the last one, you need to pay some remuneration. Okay? You need to pay some money for them. You need to pay some money. So if you fulfill this obligation, you have the right to use the patent to set the population. Okay? So this thesis I recommend you to find in the library. Very interesting. Very interesting. And from this perspective, I remember when I was 22 years old, I traveled to the European Parliament in Strasbourg, and I gave a speech to the European Parliament. So a very thoughtful moment when I was 22. I participated in internship for the United Nations in Geneva, and I traveled to Strasbourg. And in front of the member of parliament, I am the representative of a scholar from Asia. And I stand up, I speak to all the delegates. I still have my picture on a VN Law Journal, very thoughtful moment. I remember that morning. Stand up and I said, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm standing here to protect the interests of developing country. The thousands of people didn't have the equal chance to access medication, very expensive. And because the pharmaceutical company, they try to protect the patent and what they call the evergreening. And now I'm here to propose a law to reform this regulation. Yeah, just a very long speech at that time. And after I finished my intervention, and a professor from McGill University from Canada, he adhered me to become a member of the bioethics research. So that gave me another chance to travel to United Kingdom and United States and Canada later from this legal basic. So very important. Okay, so that is all about the patent law. So now I will resume. For the patent law, you understand the definition, the condition, the protection. We have three conditions, okay? And then for the period for protection, you have 20-year protection. And that's what we explained by the economist philosophy, because the cycle of a company will run for a certain type of time. And lastly, very important that intellectual property law, they protects not only the interests of the company, but also they protect the public's interest. They protect the public interest. So they use Article 25, Article 26, Article 145 to resolve this matter. Okay? You have any question or concern to the patent? We? Do you have any question for the patent? Okay, so now we move to the second object, is trademark. Okay, your group ready for the present? You ready to begin the trademark?
Good morning, everybody. So as I start, continue with this. So the trademark protection is started in Article 72, IP Law 2005. Hey, it stated that for the protection, it must be it must satisfy two conditions. The first condition is a visible sign in the form of letters, words, drawing, or images, including holograms or a combination of thereof, represented in one or more colors. And second is the capable of distinguishing goods or services of the mark owner from those other subjects. And there will be one exception stated in Article 73, IP Law 2005. It is about the sign that trademark cannot be recognized by the law. Here we can see the wrongfulness between in Vietnamese cook Hảo Hảo noodles and Hảo Hạng noodles from Asia food. We can see that it has the same color with the same image. We can see here in Hảo Hảo and both Hảo Hảo and Hảo Hạng have a slice of lemon, 2 shrimps, and some parsley, green onion, and a pot of chilies, which are remain the same, and also the color of the word is red, and it used what like more than 80% of the goods. So that Vietnamese cook, which is the founder of Hảo Hảo, has pursued Asia food, but the founder of Hảo Hạng, and now in the grocery store we cannot see Hảo Hạng noodles anymore, just only Hảo Hảo, and it's very delicious. And so for the master,
You back to the first line. We will give you one notion about this. So very important when you do the thesis later. Back to the Hảo Hảo and Hảo Hạng. So here we can see the sign hảo hạng, okay. So for the thing sonor, let's go the sound. Packaging, that's the word I want to say. So if we consider the trademark infringement, maybe we cannot sue them. Because hảo and this one, hảo hạng different word, okay? And the word you just said, and the that to say mention is packaging is a problem of infringement, okay? So the packaging in the U.S. law we call trade the dress, trade the rest. The rest, you see the rest, the way when you make a salad, you dress with mayonnaise, you see, ketchup, you dress on. So trade dress, that's mean all the elements of this. Like that, just say you have a lemon here, the lemons move here, okay? And the color much more similar. The font is like Times New Roman, something like this, very similar. So actually, for the trademark law, we cannot sue them. Hảo, and that one, hảo hạng, totally different. It's like Asanzo and Asano. Asanzo, sometimes they win Asano, and sometimes they didn't win. You need to move very further. And the problem is about the trade dress. And under the Vietnamese, I give you a clue. That's the article 130. 130. In order to resolve this case, we need to use Article 130. It's not to use the traditional article to compete with trademark law, okay? Because we cannot use it. And under Article 130, they have a definition that's called commercial indication. Okay? Commercial indication. Commercial indication, that means everything. They include the trademark, include the color, they include the way they dress product. So if in the final exam you can okay to detect the act of infringement of this case, you cannot say this is a trademark infringement. It's wrong. But you need to use Article 130, okay? That's concerned to the unfair competition. So the problem is under the IP law, there are certain acts we can regulate by the IP law. But there are many cases we cannot regulate by the IP law. And that's why we use the Article 130. And that's called unfair. Unfair competition. Trade dress. 2 years ago, you know the birds. You know the birds, seaside birds of Ho Chi Minh City, 2 floors. And the director of the birds, they called me. Can you help me out because someone copied this? And I said, it's very difficult to sue them under trademark law, but you can sue them by the competition law. But not competition law in the commercial law, but competition law in the intellectual property law. And that we call commercial indication. And in the United States, we call the trade the rest. Trade the rest. It's not trade secret, trade rest. Okay? So that is the thing you need to remember when you do your exercise or some case study. Okay? Please see that. Remember. Okay, thank you. Very good example. Your group finding. Article 130.
I shall continue my presentation, and to have the trademark protection, so we must to have the registration on the trademark. So the legal basis for the trademark registration, I have Article 1 in Circular 1 2007 from the Ministry of Science and Technology, Article 6 and 7 from in the Decree 103 2006 from the government, and Article 7 87 and Article 89 in the IP law. So the reason I put Article 89 in because there will be some foreign traders or foreign brand they want to have a registration in Vietnam. They want to make their own trademark in Vietnam. So Article 89 is used for the foreigners, and the procedure has the duration from 13 to 14 months. But that's just in the theory. In practical, in practice, the actual time will last for 18 to 20 months to have the trademark protection from the under the law. So we have here first of all we have to submit the registration and the authorized institution shall have a look and check for a long time. So these are the procedure when we make a trademark registration.
So if possible, you group modify the word mark as trademark, okay? And then you can update the law. 2005 modify 2009, 19 and 22, okay?
Okay.
And then translate to English in this. But anyway, that's okay.
And after have been approved by the authorized institution, which is the intellectual property institution in Vietnam. So we have the trademark registration certificate, and it shall last for 10 years after the submitting days. For example, you submit from now is October 4, so for in 2023, and it shall expire in 2033.
So can you explain to me why that's count from the filing day, but not file from the granting the certificate? You should choose period different, right? You apply, and then you be granted this. So why they don't count until the day you have the paper, but they count from the filing day? So there are some disadvantages for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know why?
I shall look into it.
Because what happened is they want you to have the shortest period of protection. You know that a little bit sad to say, but maybe they're not our friends, okay? See the day, and 2 days, okay? Here, when you file the mark to the office, okay? So we have 2 days. The one is the filing day, and then this one is the granting day. When you have the paper, and this period can be when I do in practice, it took me about at least 3 months until 1 or 2 years. Okay, and that means the period of protection is shorter, 10 years shorter. That already subtract for this period. What is the problem? So the first reason is if they come from that day, that means your period of protection will be longer. Okay? And if longer, the third party cannot have the right to use this mark. And this period shorter, that means they will take more benefit for the society. Number one. Okay? The second reason is if you try to trademarks It's simple, from this day. That means you can protect your sign earlier. Okay? If you wait until this day and you are now ready to have a certification, that's a little bit late. Because time is money. In commerce, you use time to make money. So the earliest you have, the more interest you are. Okay? So that's the second reason. And the third reason is why they make just 10 year renew. Why they make it standard? But why don't they say a trademark can be protected for 20 years by a patent?
In case that business in the bankruptcy, they don't want to generate their profit anymore.
One reason, and another reason, you back to the nature of intellectual property. They protect the private interest and here the public interest. So what happened if after 10 years you said I'm no longer interested in the business and I'm sorry, I don't want to do business anymore, I don't care about my business, and after 10 years finish, I don't stand it. So if 10 years finish, the interest of the public is much more bigger. Anyone can use this sign. Okay? So that's the reason why they have 10 years. And then you need to stand. Okay? So three reasons to have this. And outside of that, we have famous trademark. You don't need to register. For example, Coca-Cola. You don't need to have certification. They just said I'm very famous trademark, and I consider we need Article 75, and we recognize them. You don't need to register. Okay? So there always exists some exception in the IP law. You need to pay attention. Okay? So if I answer your question like trademark can be protected for 10 years and can be renewed, it's maybe true, maybe false, because it's not applied for the famous trademark, well-known trademark. Okay? Okay, thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Kuong, for wonderful information, and I will continue my presentation. And so now we move to the case. We move to the case study. So in the first case will be presented by Mr. Đức between Marvel LLC and Intellectual Property Office of Vietnam.
Yeah.
So today I'm gonna present the case Marvel LLC, the Intellectual Property Office of Vietnam. So in this case, on 27th of June, this time the hàng gia company they register their application to the Intellectual Property Office of Vietnam for the easement of the type 3 product, which is cosmetic. And after for QD is 2005, they initially grant a protection on their easement trademark on the cosmetic 3 product. And after that, one year later, Mobile Company initial a lawsuit against Intellectual Property Office for granting the hàng gia dụng company the trademark protection. And the three key points about this is first, Mobile declared that the trademark protection is illegal for three reasons. Firstly, it's similar is similar to the well-known trademark. Second, it is similar to a character symbol. And third, it is violating the moral right of the trademark. And I want you guys to look at the Nghị định 63 to know closer about this case.
Very good. You group update the newest legislation.
So I'm going to answer for each question. So question A is, according to the provision of IP law, the hàng gia dụng company use it meant to violate the intellectual property right of the mobile company. So I'm going to...
You watched the film Adventure of Marvel?
Yes.
Like that?
Yes. So my legal basis here will be the Nghị định, to be the resolution 63.
Okay.
So when we look at here, this is based on plus 6.1e, plus 6.1h, and the infringement of the right of mobile will be 6.2d. So can you tell me what is the 6.1e? Can you tell me what the 6.1e is about the resolution 63? Nghị định 63.
Nghị định mới nhất. They told you use the degree 65. But that's okay. That's okay for me.
63 CB 1996.
Yeah, that's the old one. And the new one is 65. 65 2023.
Can we speak aloud?
65 2023. Well, then we played the 63. But that's okay.
So the question is, does the X-Men trademark from hàng gia dụng company violate the intellectual property right of mobile? So in order to answer this question, we will look further on whether or not the sign of this trademark is distinguishable. First, we have to know that according to Article 7 of the old civil law, it is Article 785 trademark of good. Trademark are signs used to distinguish goods and services for the same type. So the key word is distinguish and the same type. So based on the fact of the case, that first, Marvel doesn't have the intellectual property protection from the IP office for the X-Men trademark of the Type 3 product.
You know why they don't have protection for the X-Men?
I will explain later on question.
Okay.
Second, that the X-Men trademark from the hàng gia dụng company satisfy all of the condition from the IP office. So when we look at this, in order for a trademark to be satisfied the condition, it must not be similar to well-known trademark or character symbol. So I will analyze from the 6.1e first. So well-known trademark, in the old law there isn't any IP law. So in this case, the court conclude that the X-Men trademark from the Marvel agent is not a well-known trademark. First I want to repeat is Marvel doesn't have the Type 3 product. trademark protection. Second is that the X-Men trademark of Marvel is not well known for type 3 product. And my third point is that you know that the 6.1h can someone read out loud about this clause in the can you read the 6.1h of the read something like that?
Yeah, they have him to read It's a very interesting case. Our friend helped us to explain. Very interesting case. Tên gì ạ? Đức. Đức hả? Lớp là 2 Đức hả? Đức 2, 1 Đức. Còn bên này là
Đạt.
Đạt à, đúng. Đức và Đạt. Have anyone read the commentary on case law? I comment this case already. Have anyone read the books? Khương? No, you don't need to read it. Linh? Đức? Đức Đạt? Just try to find the books. It's very interesting. I make some comment on this case. You do read it? Okay, thank you. Congratulations. That's why you have very deep knowledge about this case. Congratulations.
Not a symbol or character under the copyright of another person unless self-published by such person.
Yeah, so can you find this clause in current ID law? Can you find this clause in the current ID law? Can anyone find it? No, because this clause is already been deleted or abolished. There is a simple reason why this must be deleted. So I first analyze that the X-Men trademark from hàng gia dụng company and Marvel is not identical or similar because first the name X-Men from Marvel. X-Men is not a name, but it's a group of superheroes. Second, the name X-Men from hàng gia dụng is mean for two men. It aims for that when consumer use that shampoo, they become two men. They are different. When we look at the characteristic of that name. And furthermore, in the copyright law, the name of the character is not protected. Therefore, Marvel cannot based on that the X-Men name is identical to say that this is not protected. Therefore, question is, we conclude that because firstly, Marvel doesn't have the X-Men trademark on type 3 product in Vietnam. Second, X-Men trademark of Marvel are not well known. It's not well known in Vietnam. And thirdly, that the X-Men trademark from Marvel and hàng gia dụng is different. So number the question is, according to court determination in the judgment. So the question is simply say that do the court judgment to issue the hàng gia dụng company protection trademark correct or not? The answer is correct, and this question B can answer my point 1A. So in this timeline here, 27.6/2003, when hàng gia dụng company registered its X-Men trademark of the type 3 product to IB office, the office doesn't receive any case similar from the Marvel about its type 3 product X-Men trademark. Secondly, in X, the Marvel company, they don't have, at that time they don't have their X-Men trademark on Type 3 product protected in the US either. Therefore, when they decided to initiate a lawsuit against Hàng Gia Dụng company, they don't have their X-Men trademark on Type 3 product protected at that time. So, question B is that the decision of the court of the office is correct. Does the X-Men trademark by the Hàng Gia Dụng company cause confusion for consumer about the origin of the good?
I just had a question about you. You feel confused about that? When you use X-Men? Do you feel confused?
Can you repeat your question?
You can feel confused about using of X-Men in Vietnam? Yourself? You confused about the mark?
No, I don't feel any.
No, you don't confused? Why? I do confused about this when first time I use it.
Yeah, I can explain that. So in the C question, there are three points that the court make to prove that in order for a mark to be confused, there are three conditions. Firstly, it is identical or similar to a name, character, or symbol. Second, that trademark must be well known in the territory of Vietnam. And the third condition is that it makes the consumer think that the product bearing that trademark is made by the owner itself. So about the third condition, about the third condition, can you tell me an example? I will repeat the third condition. The trademark. Do you hear me? So the third condition that the court say, in order for a trademark to be confused, that it makes consumer think that the goods bearing that trademark are produced by the owner of the work. You need me to repeat for you. So when the court identify which is confusing or not, they say that trademark itself make the consumer think that the the third condition for a trademark, for a site to be confusion for consumer, is that it makes the consumer think that the good bearing that trademark are produced by the owner of the work. Can you tell me an example? This can answer your previous question.
Okay. A very interesting case, huh? Very interesting. If you read the case, you read the comment.
Do you any example? I can give you. So imagine you are a kid. That when you are a kid, you like X-Men. You like X-Men in movie, super movie. And at the time you come to the supermarket and you see a sample named X-Men. And initially you thought that this sample is from my favorite films.
Yeah, that's my case.
Yes, yeah. So you decide to buy it. But in reality, what you receive is not the X-Men from the super movie that you like. Yes, but this is from the Hạt Gia Dụng community.
Right.
So that is the problem of this. What is the example of the consumer thing that the trademark bearing, the product bearing, the trademark is made by
Actually, I do confused that time. When I was young, a few years ago, I confused. I thought that is from Marvel. Okay.
Actually, I don't know. So when I was young, I think X-Men was the brand of shampoo. It's kind of the opposite. You and look case.
Okay. So you at first that's in a shampoo.
Yeah, so I thought, why is a superhero has the brand name of a shampoo in Vietnam?
Yeah. Very confusing.
Yeah. So in order to answer the question, I must go through my objective reason. Firstly, this is identical to a name or symbol.
Yeah.
But I already explained it. So in this case, this is not similar or identical to a name or symbol. Secondly, in the case where the code, so both the code and the Marvel combiners cannot prove that it is a well-known trademark in the territory.
You know why the reason why the Marvel try that is a well-known trademark?
Yes, I know.
Because if they well-known trademark, that means X-Men in Vietnam infringe X-Men in the United States. Because the well-known trademark will protect for all the sector. For the movie, to the trademark, trade dress and everything. But in reality that they don't register in the United States,
Yes.
right?
Yes, they do register on the product like comic and movie in Vietnam, but in Vietnam's law, the trademark can distinct. In this case, the trademark, the product itself is type 3, and they only take the trademark on the type 3 product only. So in this case, they cannot prove that as any evidence that the X-Men trademark on type 3 product from Marvel are well known in Vietnam. So the third is that this consumer think that the code analyze that in order for Marvel to rely on, they have to prove that the Hạt Gia Dụng company they X-Men them for an unhealthy competitive. In this case, yeah. Yes, in this case, Marvel cannot prove that in Vietnam, when people initially buy their Hạt Gia Dụng product, they think about the X-Men from Marvel.
Yeah.
They cannot prove that. And secondly, because it is not well known, so they are based on the fact that consumer like himself think, but they cannot prove this well known. So no way that the consumer will think as the Marvel themselves think that the consumer will think about their Marvel brand rather than Hạt Gia Dụng. So these are my three analyses that code given. So opinion, is the cost solution in this new book appropriate or not?
Yeah, that's an important question. Give your own opinion.
In my opinion, the court decision is appropriate because according to Article 795, the person who has the right to legally use the name of the trademark would it say that individual legal entity other entity granted by the competent state agency to protect the name of trademark are those who have the right to legally use the name of the origin of such good, because Hạt Gia Dụng company they will register the X-Men trademark of the type 3 product, and at that time Marvel company doesn't register any of their protection on the type 3 product of both Vietnam.
Why they don't register?
The
Forget.
No, they do register, but in the US, there's important thing that in order for a trademark to be in force protection, it must be used in commercial activities. So they try to register on their type 2 product on the X-Men trademark on at the 2001, but they failed to prove that they use that X-Men trademark on commercial activity.
Exactly.
So they don't have the protection on the X-Men trademark on both Vietnam and US. Therefore, the cost solution in this thing is correct. And when
So what's your argument if you are a lawyer for the Marvel company? How do you defend this case? And how do you defend for the okay, now you will play a role defend for the Marvel company and you defend for hàng gia dụng Việt Nam. Which argument you give them? Think about in the court, okay? You do it for money. And you need to protect the Marvel and you need to protect the hàng gia dụng. So what would you say?
if I am the
If you defend the Marvel, okay?
if
Marvel.
I am a law from law, I usually based on the clause 618 of the resolution 63.
Okay.
Because this usually simply say that that the X-Men
So what's your argument on Marvel? They have a film, very famous United States about X-Men. Recently we see adventure. Everything, all the people, all the world know about that, okay? And then someday, in some country, they have X-Men or some pool. And consumer might think it's from Marvel. I do think it's from, something. You do think from shampoo, okay? And if I don't do research in intellectual property law, I never know this case. But look at the symbols. So similar. You're very big trademarks, okay? You develop your own symbol. So one term I also want to protect Vietnamese company, but in the international sense also we need to protect the international investor, okay? Because otherwise they said, oh, you are dishonest, and then they don't want to do business with you anymore. The problems, right? Problems. So what's your three main argument for Marvel? And what's your three main argument for hàng gia dụng Việt Nam? And now I will play the role like a judge in a mood competition. I will give my final judgment. You want to do something? Want to ask something? Just come here. Use microphone and speak.
I am a lawyer from the business.
So, please list on the board three main argument. You fight for hàng gia dụng.
I only have one.
Okay? Which one?
X is like the X-Men from Marvel. It is the group of persons that have a X gene, like they are different from the normal people. So they call X-Men. But
That's that argument all people understand about that. Meaning different. Each man in Marvel, that's group of person, they have an X gene. And this one for the sample. They all know about this. But the problem is that the symbol now, the appearance so similar. How we can defend this? And think about you are the Vietnamese company. Later on, some of your neighbor copy your your characters, like Thằng Đồng Đất Việt or anything you created, Hoàng tử bé, anything. It's just very famous song. And how you defend this one? You see?
Another circle surrounding the X symbol. And
Okay, now so I go one by one in order to conclude this lesson. So we tell your argument.
Yes, argument is you just said. You have a question.
Okay, so Đức.
Yeah.
Think about you have been paid for $100,000 for defend for Marvel. So what's good strongest element you would defend for Marvel?
I'm based on this because they are two things. First, that the X-Men trademark is famous, although it's not well known in the type 3 product, but it's well known in the other regions like comic and movie in Vietnam. So I'm saying that because of the X-Men brand, that it influences very much to the cognition of people in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And when I play on this, that when Mr. Yu buy my X-Men, buy the X-Men product, he will think that this is from my company, not from the X-Men handler.
Yeah, that's the things about this and this indication. We're not sure about they do a real survey, They cannot make a statement that consumer they didn't know about this because survey may be fake. That's based on the reason you take the survey, okay? The people you ask for, and the result may be different. All right?
The survey may be different.
In this case, both among them not put their well-known trademark.
Exactly.
Yes, they cannot prove. They try to what to the revenue of sales of the product, but try to look out of the criteria in Article 75 of the IP law, but they.
So the strategies of a medical lawyer that they want to claim as famous trademarks. Therefore, the X-Men trademark in Vietnam was an infringement case. Okay? You know technique? You know technique by American lawyers. You know technique. Because the X-Men cannot protect by trademark. They register a little bit late and they don't have any commercial activity. Okay? So they only can be protected at the copyright in a movie and the related right. And what we call the applied art, okay, in the movie only. And if you want to register at a trademark, you need to register. So that's why the American lawyers say we need to make it become a famous trademark. And when you become famous, you can restrict all the marks around that he can susceptible for the infringement. Okay. But they cannot prove it. And from Hàng Gia Dụng Việt Nam, that's I know they are a fan of Marvel movie. The owner of Hàng Gia Dụng is a fan of Marvel company because they cannot say that I don't know about this movie. That's wrong. Big fan of that. For sure, they're a big fan of that. I'm sure. Sir, you want to give some comment for this case, to close this case?
I do have a question.
Okay.
You said about the 6.18, though it is of course, but I don't know the exact reason why the Israeli taken the IP law not.
Only a reason.
I think that's what it say that how people exploiting the name, but how but when we analyze that, it just have similar or identical. This cause seems to be
the new finding. So to conclude this case, can you read again this provision?
This provision is similar or identical to a character or symbol from copyright of the person unless there is an authorized for it from that person.
So that's the barrier between the copyrights and the trademark, the interaction. You see that? I give you an example. When I write story, I have a character inside the story, and the problem for this for this one explained on my book is they can only for text and the copyright and the apply art. Okay, they cannot for text and trademark, and that's will cause many problems. Let's call erosion of trademark. That means any people can copy the characters from the movie to register at the trademarks, okay, and to exploit it as unfair competition. And from my point of view, the problem of this abolished already, and my point of view that also in this case that's maybe it's unfair for the American company because all the people know about this Eastman character, and reason in order to protect the fair competition we need to look at a broader sense. All right, that's the problem of this case. The interaction between the copyright from a story and trademark. Right, Mike.
I still not get it why Toho didn't sue Nissan for having a product name after their household name character, like such as Godzilla, because so you see, so they have a car. They have a car named after Godzilla, and that's probably just and it's the same name as the Toho iconic monster also have the same name. So I still not get it that how Toho didn't sue them for that.
So what is your answer? At first, we need to see that register trademark or not. Okay. The first thing. The second thing we see about the similarity of two trademarks. Okay. And the last one is concerned to the competition, whether we consider as unfair competition in order to bring the case at the trademark infringement. So we will have many cases like this. So we need to look into detail of the case to understand it. Okay, so I think the marble case is already good.
Yeah.
And then I will send me the paper and then I will read the case. Okay?
So
You want to give any comment on this?
no,
On the marble?
no, it's good. So I
just send
Keep that for later.
okay.
We have many interesting case. Give some note on that. Okay, I will make a quick conclusion for today. First of all, give a big hand to the group representation for this very good discovery. Cho nhóm một tràng vỗ tay đi. Yeah, so I appreciate your research, a very deep one, and recommend you read my books on this Marvel. Okay, so if you read the books, you know everything about this case. And the conclusion is now we find a boundary between the copyright and the trademarks. You see, the copyright, they protect a story inside a story behind another story. And you can see that's a proper story. They can make a movie, and in the movie they have some character inside. It's like X-Men. So some company, the entertainment company, they only focus on making movie, and they don't care to make a product. That means they don't register the characters as a trademark. And the problem, if they don't register, then other company can take it. So from the legal perspective, NGUYEN in Vietnam, they win a case. And the court, they base on the legal basis, the legal reasoning. But in a bigger sense, it's very bad for investors, because all the people know that is copy, and they don't know one longer want to do business in here, because we not develop on something original. We develop on something, influence from another product. So that is the problem, okay? You can do something legal and make profit, but that will not last for the long term, because it's not original. That's a copy from the influence from the movie. And if the big company, they didn't do that way, okay? So at the end, that's I give the room for all the people here to have your own opinion, okay? I don't orientate you to think like me, but in the sense of study about legal reasoning, some thing on intellectual property law, you can make your own decision about this case, okay? But the problem, the technical problem now is the conflict between the copyright and the trademark right. Whether we have so many characters and signs, they appear in the movie, and then in order to protect the trademark is very difficult, okay? So once again, thank you for your presentation, and see you in the next section, okay?